Hello, Tony.
Hello. Hello, Tom. Tom, that's us. We're on air. How are you doing, buddy?
Not bad, not bad. It's nice, sweet.
Welcome to the show, mate. With thousands on board, all eagerly awaiting to hear about your Celtic life. So, how's your family been during lockdown this last 11, 12 weeks we're into now?
Yeah, we've been okay, we'll be fine. The only worry has been my son through his not having ever played golf, and that's been tormenting for all of us, the group, you know.
User golfers, that's right.
Yeah, but now he's back, limited to sort of 3 games a week right now. But he's back playing, and he's certainly a lot happier and a lot better at engaging with others.
Oh, great job. Tom, we're looking through your Celtic life, and my God, have you seen more than any other Celtic player has probably seen in, you know what I mean, ever? Because going through, I was trying to make up a storyline. I was going, well, where do you start with Tom Boyd? But we'll start in your early days. You played for Motherwell, from 83 until 1991. How were you not discovered within that time frame in Scotland?
How did I get started? I think I was at Celtic Boys Club when I was under 16, 15s and 16s, and obviously at that time you had to be responsible to be kept on with Celtic, and that didn't happen. And so I left Celtic Boys Club and went to Motherwell for the week prior with Motherwell, and it was Frank Connor, the Celtic legend, that was assistant to Jock Wallace at Motherwell, and lucky enough was good enough to get a wee trial and sign S forms with Motherwell schoolboy forms. So I stayed on to 6 years, and then when I finished playing school, I started in the YTS, and that was my first professional contract. And within the year of signing that, was playing first team football, and I don't think it was anything really to do with me being that good. I think it was Motherwell were rotten that season. We're going to get relegated, but I managed to get a few games in the first team and get my experience and game experience. And in many ways, it certainly helped me, obviously, follow my career and get to Celtic later on. I don't think I would have been quite ready to be able to play for Celtic at that age, at that time, and the position that I played for. Yeah, so yeah, it was great. I had a good few years learning experience at Motherwell, but I decided that the time was right to go, and thankfully left them in a good footing in terms of winning a cup with them in my very last game in 1991. So it was a good way to leave, and I wish them all the best. But, it was time to move on with the Chelsea.
Yeah, I seen the rerun of the Motherwell Dundee United game with our BBC recently showed it. My God, that was some final you took part in, and on the back of that, it got you moved to Chelsea, didn't it?
See, when you look back on that, and it's strange now in terms of how the football style was, the game was, and I can't believe the amount of long balls that I played. When you look at trying to get the ball out from the back and non-stop, but I think that was more the tactics of most teams at that time, was to be playing the ball up to the strikers almost as quickly as you could get it, and then work off your moves, get your midfielders running long and through the defenders, and then you've also got to get as much support as you can. So it looked as though there was a lot of long ball, but I think that was quite the style. But there was a lot of good. The goals, most of the goals were good in that game. But yeah, I knew that obviously that was going to be my last game for Motherwell. I was moving on. Hopefully that, Chelsea did come in for me at that time. I've spoken to a couple of teams previously. One was Nottingham Forest with Brian Clough could have left before.
Oh, that was Scottish Cup final
again. Yeah, I could have left before the Scottish Cup semi-final against Celtic. But in speaking to Brian Clough, I decided no. It wasn't quite right for me. I was a wee quite boring. I think it was the height of his problems with drinking and all that.
Yeah.
And he turned up for the meeting and he was quite drunk when we was talking to him. So that didn't sort of
that didn't impress you.
Full of confidence. Yeah. So the option was to go down to Chelsea. Well, not a bad option, but it was a boy called Bobby Campbell was a manager at Chelsea at the time. Who I had talked with, and he'd all the plans for signing. Big Paul Elliott was coming down. He was down for Chelsea, and so I was part of that. Steve Barton, another guy in the middle. So unfortunately, Bobby decided to resign. So I thought I was going to be left in the lurch. But the then chairman, Ken Bates, who was the chairman of Celtic at the time, decided that they wanted me, and the caretaker was Glenn Williams, and so they signed me, and I obviously got my move to Chelsea down in London. So thankfully that kept going, but there was no signs of Celtic at that time. There were strong rumours and possibility that I thought maybe Celtic would have been coming in for me at the end of my contract, but it was Big Billy was the manager at the time, and maybe because the season wasn't going so well for Celtic, that maybe the board and the working staff knew that they were going to have a fresh start at the end of the season, and that's maybe why they didn't come in for me at that time, you know.
Yeah, you had 252 appearances for Motherwell. I think that's a big amount of appearances. I didn't realise you played for them that amount of times. 1983 to 91, and then that move come off. Then he ended up at Chelsea. It wasn't great down there for yourself, because I read up you weren't happy, or you were thinking they were treating you more as a bit player. No.
Well, I played 20, and in the space of 6 months, I played 20 odd games. Now, where I was a bit of a bit player, where not always disadvantaged, that was wrong. I knew it was a new signing, but it wasn't the manager's new signing. The guy who came in was Ian Porterfield.
Yeah, I remember
so
that.
I just arrived, and then Ian Porterfield came in after me. Now, in his eyes, I'm not a player that he's bought without a particular bought. I'm one like the rest, and everybody's in the same boat kind of thing. You usually look favourably on the players that you bring in. But I started to play, and then after 15, 20 games, Chelsea won the day so well. We were mid-table and mid to bottom, and losing quite a few games. So when they would change the system from a back three to a back four, I was able to make the statement for the backlog. And so, the middle spell, I'd again sit in the bed. Then I get back in and played about the last half dozen games, culminating in my last game for Chelsea was the game at Anfield. We beat Liverpool 2-1. So things were going, before I came up to Celtic and before I moved, things were going quite along, not too bad. And I know it was only about 6 months into this game, but it was not too bad, and played quite a few games. So it came as a complete shock. I had absolutely no knowledge whatsoever that Celtic were coming in for me at that time.
Yeah, I remember the whole situation back then. I know we were reading the Celtic Views, and Cascarino wasn't doing well for us up north at all. And in fact, he was there, in games we were in. But he was a target man. You had to play the long ball. Brady was probably thinking of the Ireland setup. No, Paddy Bonner can kick this ball out and put it on top of his head. But we were we were a football team, and you had to play the Celtic way, and it was bad at the time. And then the next thing, we heard about this deal that was going to take you, and I haven't heard anybody, even back then, turn around and say this is a bad move, or no. They were absolutely delighted that Tomboy was coming to Celtic. We thought we were stealing from Chelsea.
Well, there was a lot of things that went for me, and that I couldn't have done any worse than what Tony Cascarino had done for that length of time. There was a lot of people saying, this was a big part of the plan, that Tomboy was going to end up at Celtic. A lot of conspiracy theories. And nothing could be further from the truth, because Celtic paid a lot of money for Tony Cascarino, a hell of a lot at that time.
Yeah.
And it just never worked out. Maybe, as you say, the style of football that Wayne was trying to get the ball, and that wasn't Tony Cascarino's game. His game was booting up the long, getting it up, and working balls off here. As you know, a lot of the style of football, you look at Ireland, were very successful in a lot of the style of football. And not just a safety cap. And obviously, thankfully, and for if that hadn't never happened, if he had started ever so well, then that move might not have come about for me. So for me, I'll always be thankful for Tony Cascarino having an absolute nightmare I know you don't like saying that a bit, but I'll be so pleased that I was so pleased that he was having an off track. So yeah, and sorry.
So finally, on the 2nd of February 1992, you were brought home back to Paradise, and we weren't doing well at the time, but Liam Brady had brought you in. We were having a bit of a stinker of a season, and Liam Brady was trying to find a footing. He needed to sort of shore up his defence, and he landed you. What was your feelings like once you walked out as a Celtic player with a shirt in your back?
Yeah. Well, God's sake, you can imagine what it would feel like for everybody who's listening today, that as Celtic supporters, you know, for that one time pulling our jersey on, running onto the pitch through the tunnel and getting adulation, you know, you can imagine it's a dream come true. There's elation, there's joy. There's always there's also a lot of nerves there, you know, because, you know, you've been in there and your family's in the stands and your relations are in the stands, your friends are in the stands, and as a supporter you feel as though you've got that little bit more pressure on. But, you know, you get used to that, you know, pretty quickly, and yeah, it was a great feeling. It came as a surprise about the move. Never knew it was going to happen when Ian Porterfield had called me into his office at the stadium. I thought he'd maybe pull me in. I had no reason for thinking why he was, or known for why he was coming to pull me in and to talk to me. And then obviously the option, he says, look, there's a chance for a swap deal. You go up to Celtic and I'll come up, Tony Castle coming here, and just a straight swap. And I went, delighted. I'll go up and talk and see what happens. But, you know, I was going to have to sign anyway. But yeah, that was, you know, the first game against Airdrie, running out as it was in the jungle. You got your initiation as a Celtic supporter and standing. You get lifted down at the front, so that's the only place you could have seen because of how small you were. Yeah. Yeah, it was just a dream come true for myself and everybody concerned, my family.
Yeah, and what would you make of Liam Brady? Brought you up. What were your initial thoughts going into the Celtic setup? What was he like as a manager?
Liam obviously absolute legend, a football player and coming in. And, you know, for me, I'll be ever thankful for Liam giving me this opportunity. The problem with Liam, and I think it was his ability to identify players or get the best out of players. You look at the players that come in and the big money that was spent by Liam on guys like Cascarino, on guys like Stuart Slater, who never really hit the height, and I think that was the problem. Looking for them to kick on, they never really, you know, set the air on fire as they come in, and that's obviously started that cost. I think Liam the job with these guys never come in and done it for him. So I was sad to see him go, but I think, you know, given the results and what was going on, I think it was inevitable towards the end. But for me, you know, as you know, a lot of people were doing, you know, he was a guy that signed you for your team, or the team that you played and dreamed about, then, you know, you'll be ever thankful for that. Yeah. I'll be ever thankful to him for giving me that first opportunity to go on the pitch.
So you were at Celtic and you're trying to establish yourself and trying to get us a trophy. 92-93 season finished badly. We finished third in the league behind, of course, Rangers and Hearts. Liam was there. He started the next season, 93-94. With the likes of with decent players, you had yourself, Mowbray, Collins, McStay, but he had invested in the likes of Gary Gillespie, Slater, and Frank McAvenny, who was honest to say that he was finished by that stage. And a second came, and we were midway through the 93-94 season, if you can remember, and was having another stinker, and Frank Connor jumped in for a couple of games before Lou Macari came to us. What did you make of the turmoil then? Did you say to yourself, what have I let myself in for here?
Sorry, Tony, you put out a lot there. I don't know what happened, but just seeing partly, obviously, that we had the initial part of talking about, you know, when I first come in, And not my surprise was, coming to a team with Celtic, regardless, obviously we didn't finish that well that season, even if all the season started, you still felt you would have been competing, still felt you would have been challenged, but obviously not realising then that was the start of the real massive decline within Celtic, culminating in obviously Fergus McCann taking over. So there was a lot of chopping and changing, a lot of turmoil, and no surprise that that time that we weren't, really competing at the top, because you look at when Lou McCarry came in and the players that he could buy and what was afforded him, 250,000 for guys like this, and even free money transfers. Obviously, Wayne Biggins one was a classic example of that. So that's where we were at that time, trying to live, within our means, but trying to. We had no money to compete with what was getting spent across the city of our greatest rivals. So it was a massive challenge, but with every new season, we thought, you get a fresh optimism about that. But at that time, up until Tony came in and started to take over and bring his philosophy, and also allied to that was bringing in some very good players. I think that's when we started competing. And also, there's a lot of things, a lot of factors, but getting back to Celtic Park was massive after that season. And that was Tommy's first season. We were absolutely horrendous, but thankfully we got a wee victory in Scottish Cup in '95, which gave us a springboard for the following season to be able to compete.
Yeah, I was just looking over the reign of Tommy. Tommy was in his first season. You got to give him time to build. He ended up fourth in the league. Draws were the big thing of that season. 18 draws we had. Yeah. And we ended up fourth. But the season 95, 96, he started really getting this team playing well. He started looking out. Paul Byrne was in touch as well, because we had Paul on one of the programmes and he sent his best wishes to you. And he was telling us about, Tommy, the 94-95 season was in there to build, and he was looking out, and he got an inkling that he was looking around Europe and looking for some great players. Season 95-96, we still had Collins there, we still had McStay there, but the next thing we landed, the likes of Andreas Thom, Pierre Van Hooydonk, and Georgie Gadari came in at the late stage. You must have been thinking to yourself, here, this is going to be the season. We're going to...
Yeah, the previous season, I think we had a better chance in terms of how close we were losing the one game. And I think what Tommy had, the philosophy of, the passion, not just about his football club, but a passion about getting players to play to their best of their ability. We would train non-stop, we would be coming in and doing extra training afternoon. And it was working, but then obviously we needed that little bit extra quality in the volunteers, and the work players are much to do it. Obviously Andy Tom Andy Tom was there. Di Canio was another one, and so we had what a forward line. But I think you've got to remember as well, with these players that we do what they had, we were also competing against a team across the city that was arguably the best of our team, with guys like Gascoigne and Loudrup, and also in terms of style of play, they always seem to have that that Indian sign over us, where in most games, Tommy would point out that Andy Borum was the cursor was in so many games.
He was getting man of the match every time we played them.
With the way we would dominate the games, but just could not put the ball past them. And then on occasion, quite a few occasions, there'd be a mistake or somebody would have a bit of brilliance for opposition, and then that would steal the game. And that happened so many times to us at that time, because we still wanted to go out and play the way that Celtic play, and that's what Tommy was brought up on. For the back of his got Steely, and his philosophy was just to play bomb forward, get forward, and maybe there's no criticism on it, but maybe that's just got played into their hands a little bit. But again, it's how you want to see football get played. That's how you want to do it. You want to go and try and beat the opposition by scoring more goals rather than just sitting in. Yes, it happens on occasions, but you don't want that to be a philosophy that you just sit in and defend, and that's how you win the European Cup as well. With that, it's torture to watch at times.
Yeah, it is.
And so the philosophy is not wrong, but But whether it just got us that success at the time, that was a problem, you know.
Yeah, I must have thought we were cursed. I've got my son Declan beside me. He wants to jump in with a wee question for you, Tom.
Hi, Tom. How
Yeah, as he grown any? So was that picture, Barry? Yeah, looked like a wee shorty, Barry.
Yeah, he does. He'd make a good centre half the size of him.
First off, I want to say sorry, because after that picture, you put your hand there to shake my hand and I didn't see it.
I thought I was putting my hand on your shoulder, but it was just on your waist, wasn't it?
Yeah. Just going back to the 1985 Scottish Cup final, going into that, were the players nervous at all? Going into that game, obviously.
Yes.
Yes,
there was a number of reasons, right? If you should remember them back, we also got to the League Cup final that season, and we played Wraith Rovers, and we'd lost to Wraith Rovers at Ibrox, and so they were a first division team. We were playing everywhere. First division team as it was then, it's a championship team as you call them now. And although Edgewood had a lot of very good players, you know, there was still that wee doubt in their mind. And I think we'd been scarred a number of years. We hadn't won a trophy for 5-6 years as well at Celtic, you know, so it was a massive ask for everybody. So it was huge relief, and I think you could see the sense of it, you know, that there wasn't much in the game. A couple of pieces of brilliance, you know, big touches crossed the big pair header. We should have won the game by another odd goal or so, but nothing much more than that. But, you know, yeah, it was just sheer relief. Yes, nervousness before, but certainly the shadow of a doubt because of the circumstances of us not having won for so long. Forget that feeling as you see now the team and how we're doing now. You're getting that sort of momentum that's built up. You know that feeling of what it takes, and you enjoy that feeling. Well, we hadn't had that feeling of having success, and I think you've seen at the end pictures of every single player, and especially Tommy, the one that sums it up, Tommy and the heart, Paul McStay, you know, embracing each other and the joy at the end of that. So, yes, it was a huge sense of relief and joy that we managed to get the victory, and not, you know, I recall, you know, probably enjoying that celebration even more. I remember the Motherwell game for me back in 91. It was supposed to be a good game, 4-3 at the time. Listen, I probably celebrated more for the Celtic game, and it was a rubbish game, but it was the same sort of emotions of feeling a victory and being a champion once more, you know.
Yeah, that was a tough day to sit and watch that and go through it. Go ahead, Declan.
And the foreign players in the squad, mainly like Big Pierre, were they aware of how important this game was for us to win no matter what?
Yes, yeah, I think they knew. It was obviously Big Pierre was there, he was the only one actually at that time, and the Tom come in the summer, I think. But yeah, Big Pierre came in, you could see that the way he was qualified. You know, a big powerful lad, you know, very slight, good with the ball. Yeah, he kicks, fantastic, which is something never had often. John Collins was good, but from closer in, John had the technique to be able to trip over the ball, but not the power and the pace that Big Pierre had. So, yeah, he was somebody who added so much to the team. Big, tall lad, but he wasn't a real target man, you know what I mean? He was wanting to get the ball down and play football, and you know, certainly a lot of skill to his play that he was afforded, and just fitted in nicely to the team. Gave us a huge boost that somebody like that, you know, could come to the club as well, and that's when they started to go. They thought we were getting on the right direction to get a league championship.
Yeah, and we even remember back when he gave us the lead that day, he was injured earlier on. I think he was injured around about 25 minutes, and I had to be subbed that day, and we're all thinking to ourselves, "Oh God, you know, it's." Yeah. And that's what made us even more nervous. I was never so glad to hear the final whistle that day, and of course break a trophy.
Well, reserve player, I think, was it Willie Faulkner or something as a striker, and Willie was going to have the best of records as a striker. The
injuries were horrendous.
Nowhere near what Big Pierre was like in terms of ability,
Yeah. So we got that season done, trophy ducking all broken, walking into season 96, 97 thinking, here we go. Once we got that sort of the monkey off your back type of thing, we'll walk into the next season with a great manager in Tommy. And it just didn't work out that season as well. We sort of we were doing okay throughout the season, and we were keeping in touch up the top end of the league. Then all of a sudden it just fell apart. I mean, we ended up with six draws and 7 losses in that season. They won the league by 5 points, but it was the semi-final against Falkirk that seemed to have won it all.
There was a couple of, obviously the two goals at that game, and a couple of games and we should have won both of them. But again, I'm not accusing. Previously, it was maybe not being able to keep some goals out and see stupid games. In that game, it wasn't scoring enough goals with some of the opportunities that they had, and that was surprising given the quality that we had in the team. It was diverse and sadly that ultimately cost Tommy, I think, his job at Celtic. And on the other side, that's one thing last year about regretting, but when you don't have any usually you don't have any because you just take what comes. But when that happened, when Tommy got sacked, I think it was huge regret that we never managed to get the league championship from him. He gave his heart and soul.
He did.
As a role model for any professional coming through, any supporter coming through, to give his heart and soul as a supporter, as a player, as a manager, as a chief scout, as a youth worker, working with the youth. He just gave everything for the club, and at that time, though, sad that they never managed to win the trophy for him. It's difficult to pinpoint why it wasn't to be in the case with, as you say, the players that we had and the ability that we had.
Yeah, and that's even thinking back then. No, you were thinking. There's somebody not pulling their weight along the way. No, because we had massive egos in that team. Looking across, the actual team photograph, and there's you standing there, and to the right hand side, you have Georgie Cadet, you have Paolo Di Canio, you Big Pierre, and then going. They don't think you should win you the league alone, but
the thing that I think. They always weren't a problem in terms of on the field of play. They were all decent guys. Buchanan was one who was, quite eccentric, but he was a good lad to go with and stuff like, and on the field had his moments. But I think it was only like when the season finished and we were all, it was all more money to them, that they were worried about, and they could go away down to get the exclusive contracts down in England and the extra money. I think that was just a wee bit sour that with the players, in terms of what they had. But that's football.
Did you get the feeling, Tom?
A lot of them, if they don't support the team on this, they'll know that if you're there long enough, then you become as guys like Larson and Sutton and these ones, these John Hats, and you get an affection with the club. But certainly that didn't apply to some of them. But, we were glad to be there. We were great to see, quality football players at the Clark, and they were certainly quality football players. But, maybe money was more than motivation than trying to, make the support happy.
Yeah. Did you get the feeling from them that they were putting themselves in the shop window?
No. They just not at all. I wouldn't say that they were put themselves in the shop window, because I don't think anything else happened until the end of the contract, and I don't know what the dealings were, and obviously there seemed to be complications, or they felt they were underpaid, or promised something I don't know from up above in the boardroom. I'm not sure, but no, they were nice guys. They all going well. They were all right in the dressing rooms. They join in things when they're going to try to do things. So no, I never took them as having any problems with them, at all.
I would say that the cameo was some character like that. They actually just even to step aside on a bus or something, because his passion, even when he played in the then Old Firm derbies, he wanted to get the fans, to get the extra volume out of them. The cameo was something else, wasn't he? Especially when he played against Ferguson,
Yeah, he's certainly somebody who had a lot of fire in his belly, we know what it was like, as a person and all that, and he could do. He could do things that, no other players could dream of. His ability to go by players, his ability to to buy players several times, and the same player several times as well. Was a piece each of the Paulo, but I think a lot of them sometimes felt at times they'd maybe not play early enough, and that they wanted to go and entertain too often or beat a man too often. But then that's usually a criticism of just about every winger that you've got, and players that you get that happens, or you don't put the ball in quick enough. But yeah, it was great to see he was there. I just wish he'd stayed around longer as the rest done, but obviously that wasn't to be, and maybe that worked out for the better.
Yeah, what do you think about it?
In terms of the team and the players and the structure of the team, eventually for that following season, it was better for it, you know.
Yeah, Deaglan wants to ask you a wee question here about this.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch the Canio play, so all I have is videos, but I was watching one of his goal against Aberdeen in '86, the one where he chips over the keeper and puts into the net, and just looking back, that you were the person to put the long ball up for him to do that.
Excuse me, long ball. Did Beckenbauer ever had a long ball?
That was a laser-gated pass.
It was a quality pass, right? The pass was exquisite. You could not do anything but score from a pass like that. Even though he did have to lob the keeper, but I would say that it was his bad touch, the first touch, that he had to lob the keeper. The pass was brilliant.
Outstanding, Tom. Oh, I love it.
Okay, I can tell I'm not convincing these boys.
Yeah, no, you have me convinced, don't worry. I remember it well. Here, when that season was done.
I do remember that. Obviously, that was the day of the Golden Boots. And obviously sold in for charity. I think 50,000 to get made for the Shelley's boots.
Big money.
It went to charity. It's phenomenal. And I do recall the run, and it was a free kick, I think. And I seen he was trying to run behind the defence, and I just knocked it over. And thankfully, as I've done on a couple of occasions, thankfully it fell to him. So it was a great moment, a great time, and that sums up Paolo with what he could do with the ball, and what he could do in the midst of the tension that's within a football field, the tension that's on, especially attackers when they're in tight situations. He can have that composure to take the first touch and then ability to lift it over the goalkeeper. It was a magnificent goal.
Cracking goal,
but
still beautiful.
You're only as good as a service guy, lads.
It's still beautiful to watch. It's outstanding. So that season done and dusted, Tom, you must have sat with your head in your hands going, look who we're losing here. Van Hooydonk's gone, Cadet's gone, the Cameo's gone, Tommy's gone. Yeah. They're going for 10 in a row, and you must have just thought to yourself, Jesus.
Aye. Any pressure on his opponent?
No, you know what I mean? It's us who remember even back then thinking to myself, you know what I mean, before the ball was even kicked, you know what I mean, I'd already given up.
Somebody asked me a question just recently about, did you feel the pressure? And they're thinking, well, hold on, did I feel the pressure? When Wim Jansen came in, he made me captain. Now he was a captain to try and stop probably the best ever Rangers team to doing 10 in a row.
Yeah.
And not only was under pressure from being a player to stop that, I was under pressure as being the captain with your teammates. I was under pressure as being a supporter to try and help my family, not take some abuse to some supporters. And so I was under pressure to just about everybody. So no, I was certainly under a bit of pressure. But you can take that on and you can live that. And as long as you're going out there to try your best, you might not be great in every game, but try your best in every game. And that's something that I would do. And I think we get help along the way. As we went on in that season, way back, the turmoil that we were in at the start, as you said, huge losses. Yeah. And you think, well, where did we go? The players, we lost these players, the players that were in there were not good enough to win the league. What are we going to bring in? Because what we had at the start wasn't quite good enough. Eventually players that came in made a massive impact. Look at Craig Burley's, Big Mac Reapers, Henry, obviously, apart from his first pass. Paul Lambert, a European Cup winner coming into a team like Celtic. So the quality eventually came. And obviously under Vim, we were a little bit different tactically. And maybe that was a slight advantage for us in certain games, other than obviously for me was that what they go and play total football and just go and play an attack. Whereas Vim was a wee bit more reserved, and they would mainly rely on the front players to go and do the job, and defenders could just defend as we had good examples of that. So there was a lot of variation in that team rather than just, well, let's go gung ho,
Tom, were you aware of Wim Jansen coming into the club? Did you know anything about him? I know nothing about him.
Nothing at all. Yeah. Nothing. I obviously heard of the name, but that's as much as that he played against Scotland, against Holland in '78, and I think he also played in the Baynard team.
Yeah,
that was only against Celtic. That was only after the event that I knew. But in terms of the time, like most people, nobody knew who Vim was. But he was obviously a very intelligent man, very quiet and assuming, and also had a calmness about him that I think helped quite a few players. Normally you come in after the game, and certainly with Tommy and a lot of the managers that I've had down the years, and it's, who can shout the loudest and who can argue the most. But Vim was a lot more calm, a lot more shooting. Whether it's because his English wasn't exactly the best, it was very good. But, in terms of having a conversation or having an argument with somebody in the heat of the moment, you'd maybe lose out. Well, maybe he was clever enough to say, no, I'll just wait. We'll have a wee meeting on the Monday after we'll time to calm down, and we'll watch it in a video, and then we'll try and analyse it rather than, just crack up on the Saturday. Some managers like that, where you're having to go to each other to get that team spirit and get it going. But Vim was a wee bit more reserved and a wee bit more calm about things.
Right, now, from a fan's point of view, I always remember that starting off the season, we had the 2 defeats, and I thought, Jesus, horrendous. What a start, especially, trying to stop their 10 in a row. But we played a League Cup game against St Johnstone, I remember, midweek, and we were terrible in it, but we went the extra time, and I think just something, because I felt that night, something clicked in that game in extra time that seemed to just bond the team that night. I don't know, you got the feeling on the night, but I thought that extra half an hour, it just
I'm trying to think whether it was either that game or the following game. I think we played them when it was almost a double header at St Johnstone, and there was a save for Johnstone Gould where I think that might have been a late game, and point blank save from Johnstone Gould for George Boyle, who was later becoming famous for that miss. He had a fantastic save. That was a wee turning point as well. And then McLean's fell. And I think obviously then, the manager's tactics, the manager's abilities to do what he coaches, and then the players were coming in, we were all getting used to each other. And so that certainly helped us, span to find our feet in the league, and we certainly went on a great run, obviously culminating that League Cup victory at Ibrox. That was a catalyst, I would think, certainly that game because we'd lost.
Yeah, don't great that.
The first 2 league games we've won, I think, against, I can't remember, was it Berwick Rangers or something like 9-0 or something, or whatever it was. But other than that, as you say, the first 2 league games we lost were absolutely horrendous. The only good thing early on then at that time was that I think Rangers hadn't won both games and been 6.
Yeah, they were struggling as well.
That would have been a huge blow. I think they drew one, so we were only 4 points. Still only 4 points behind them. I know it was almost a big gap, but it was still, if you're going to lose your games, you're better losing them at the early part of the campaign rather than later when it's impossible to hold that back.
Yeah. Well, come on, hang about this season a wee bit. I think Declan's got a wee question here.
The UEFA Cup game against Liverpool earlier on in the season, I think we drew 2-2 at Celtic Park and 0-0 at Anfield. Was that a big confidence booster for the boys, seeing that Liverpool were such a big team then and we got a decent result against them, even though it went out?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of players. There's a lot of players. I think we were starting to grow in confidence, and that certainly gave us a huge lift. We could play against a club like Liverpool, and down in England they were doing quite well. And I'm fortunate not to get through over the two. And obviously the late golf and McMahon, and great goal that it was, but we should have taken out. We should have taken him out earlier. A big Morton or even Stephen Mahy coming in, might have been able to take that out and commit a foul. And so yeah, it was disappointing that we lost the game on the way goal. But another one that was coming along the way that we were starting to find our feet, we were starting to find our form, and we were starting to be able to compete with a lot of games because we certainly had a lot of very good results around about that time of night. That was almost the height before the real pressure towards the end of the season kicked on. Where almost both teams were stumbling a little bit. The draws or defeats and stuff, only draws. So yeah, that was a massive boost as well. That we could compete at that level. And unluckily went out in a away goal.
Yeah,
right.
And as you say, we're starting to get into a little bit of form, and this new Swedish striker starts getting into a bit of form. How was Henrik in the early days and training and all that there during pre-season? Could you see that this guy was going to be a special talent at that time?
Yeah, we kind of. I didn't realise how good it would then become in terms of. Alongside when the pressure was taken off him a little bit, when starting to come in and scoring the 30 goals, I think that one was right at the peak. But the team then as well was a magnificent team. But going back to then, yeah, I think quite often Henry would play quite a bit on the left side. You had Darren Jetson coming in sometimes and playing, Simon Bonham maybe sometimes just playing off. So he sort of maybe not played as an out-and-out striker all the time. He did play on occasion, quite a few occasions, but quite often he wouldn't play as out-and-out striker. So, but yeah, there was you could see for that early on how good he was going to become because his ability as a player, his strength for somebody who's so small, his ability to jump and how high he could jump. For somebody you think, no, he's not the tallest of lads, and you think. Well, he's got great strength and great determination, and certainly he had a huge impact in that season.
Oh, he was excellent. Do you remember the month of November? Remember the month of November? The back-to-back defeats, one against Rangers. I think it was on the 8th, but lost 1-0. I think Negri had scored that night, and Motherwell we got beat on the 15th. We got beat 2-0, and the pressure game was on. We had them twice that month. Do you remember much about the month, Tom?
I only thought we were on here to talk about good memories.
No, but it ends up good.
Not too much. A lot of defeats you don't like looking back on and remember. I remember somebody came down to me, I was just out for a walk the other day, and it was Scotland-England game in '96 and something. Said to you, do you remember what I said? No, I don't like watching back defeats. It's like the Seville season, you ask the players, the great memories that they had and going over there, and how fantastic it was. The players don't remember it, but because we lost the game. It comes with great, to win things and get memories. The best memories are obviously when we win things. But there was a lot of things, and at that time, there was a lot of pressure on teams, and I think that just knocked us a little bit, in terms of those back-to-back defeats, because there was a little gap starting, and then I think there was certainly important games, in and around about when we were playing them, and I think it was Alan Stubbs' goal.
That's what it was leading up to, you see. I was throwing
I think that was vitally important not to go even further behind in that run. And so, at that time we were a little bit still chasing at Rangers, and obviously culminating in the game at New Year's Day was massive. But it was in the course of the season, you feel ups and downs. We had a poor start, went on a great run, and then we had a wee dip just about November in a couple of games where we couldn't go over the line and lost. So, massive games. But in the course of the campaign, you'll go through games like that, you'll go through times like that.
You see, I was going to tell you those two bad games then lead up to the little nice furry story that came on the 19th of November when they thought that they were going to take a 1-0 win away from us. I think at Gaza got the red card that night, and right on the 91st minute, they had won that night. You know it yourself, probably it was the title winning moment for them, no, strangely, but Alan Stubbs powering up that header, Jesus, would bombarded the box, and Big Stubbs put that in, and I think
I remember that one a little bit more better in that we didn't get beaten again. So
yeah.
I remember with a little bit more fondness, but yeah, again, there's a lot of games that were significant in that season, pivotal, and certainly that was one of not going. Just to give them a cushion or a greater lead of what they had. I think that wee lead they had, they still maintained that really well. And that was a game, I think they might have gone 6 points or something ahead, or whatever it was, maybe more. So it was, it was so vital, so important that we didn't lose that game. And I think that showed a little bit of different determination, maybe a little bit more better luck, maybe a little bit more astuteness from the manager and stuff, So there was a combination of things, but it was so important. As you said, I think the supporters were thinking coming into HH, this is another one we'll probably not deserve to win the game, but we've got it, and we're away to Celtic Park with the 3 points. So it was, that was a nice one. It was a special one to give us a wee lift.
Yeah, what about a body blow? But here, Big Stubbs, he pulled it out of the fire. Go ahead, Deaglan.
I'll lead on to happier memories now. With the 1988 or 97 even Coca-Cola Cup final, and we won that 3-0 against Dundee United. How big was that, and just the confidence booster that we can go on and win this title with that cup under the belt?
Well, what that gave us was a boost that we could, at the end of the season, have a wee trophy at this. I know that wasn't the major one, but it would still give us a thing that we were winners in the campaign, and that was certainly just give us a lift. There was a number of games, and to win the first championship, the first trophy on display, then it was great feeling, and to win it so comfortably in the final. We played so well, dominated the game, and it did. Again, winning at Ibrox was
that was exercise, wasn't it? We partied in there that night. Yeah.
Yeah, because we had going to Ibrox in a few games, like semi-finals and stuff like that. We had a few disappointments in games and big games there, so that was nice to blow away all those goats and stuff, so to get a victory, to get a trophy in there. But I think it would have been nicer at Paradise, but that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, and how did it feel being the Celtic captain, your first trophy, lifting it up in front of the fans? Must have been great for you.
Oh, it's absolutely delighted, again, the beat stuff of dreams, the pressure that's on you as a captain to go and lift a trophy, and that was a great one. Obviously, the league was what was more important in that season. But it's ever so nice that you can walk up there and lift that first for all the players to be able to follow you. And it's huge pressure on you. You think all the captains, the massive characters and the players that we've had, the absolutely magnificent players, football players that have captained our club, and you're one of only a select few. And so to follow in the footsteps of these great legends is something else. So there's a lot of pressure on you. So to win that first trophy is ever so nice, and it takes it a lot of pressure. It takes it it's a little bit sweeter.
Do you see where we were coming from there? Because we started you off with 2 bad games, then we were working it up where we drew a game, then the happy ending came at the end of November, because we won that on the 30th of November, and that made Christmas quite sweet, so it did.
It was a belated birthday present for me. My birthday was on the 24th, so I'm just a belated one.
Great, that must have been great for your family and all. So we sort of run neck and neck with them with games. Then it came the New Year game was at Celtic Park. The temporary stand was there. It wasn't great to sit in now, to be honest, from a fan's point of view. It's a day we dominated them, beat them 2-0, and that Lambert screamer was right behind that temporary stand, and it came like a bullet into the top corner. and I was so overjoyed. I thought, here, listen, we're celebrating too much. This thing's going to come down. That was swaying from left or right. Oh, what you did to us that day as fans, they used to put us on a roller coaster ride, but it was great.
Well, that was a massive game for a number of reasons. One was not knowing that I didn't know at the time it was the first time we'd won a sort of New Year's game in 10 years. The significance of that, when you look back at in all the years that they hadn't won the championship, so that was massive. But it was also on the back of the draw, the Alan Stubbs got that late goal. The game had went where we were dominating so much, trying to take chances after chance, any goal and make a few two. You think, is this going to come? But we played well, and eventually the quality for the pass, there was wee Jackie into Craig Bully, and Craig Bully had a great season for us that year.
Absolutely, yeah.
Fantastic. Wee Jackie as well. Wee Jackie was the football directors for the year. Craig Bully, I think, was the players for the year.
Yes, that's right.
Great players for us on that season, but the round ticket pass, and obviously just the icing on the cake, and what a bit of liking was from Paul Lambert. I had a great view of that one. I'd obviously been a defender quite often, was always last man, and I'm right behind Paul as he's hitting the shot. And as soon as he left, he's on your duty. That's him, you know what I mean? Absolutely celebrating. Felt it no more than we deserved, but in quite a few games like that, we come out with nothing, and we should have had a lot more to show for it, But it was very nice feeling, and it took me to end that year.
Definitely one of my favourite goals of all time. That is, it was absolutely outstanding what he did that day. So here we'll skip along. I'll try and round off this season before we ask you a few other things. We went into the Dunfermline game. Rangers were beat the day before, and we were going to clinch the league at Dunfermline that day. How did you all feel that morning getting into it? How was confidence and?
Well, you'll remember that it started the day before, and the significance of it was that Henrik Larsson had just picked me up. We went to meet, I don't know what, probably about 5, 6 o'clock to go to leave the hotel, but it was just as the radio was doing the commentary in the game, and the game going into extra time. It's not extra time, it's injury time that I got some ways that this would come on it. And obviously Mr. Tate adding on to about 25 minutes of extra injury time.
Trying to get them that goal.
So me and Henrik were in the same car. Henrik picked me up. He would pick me up for the away games. I would pick him up for the home games because he just stayed 2 doors down for me. So as we're going in and we're just going through Uddingston, going into the park, we're only 10 minutes in the Celtic Park, and all of a sudden we heard there's a goal. I'm not saying, yeah! So we're all jumping in the car, Henk's nearly crashing, and it was but then that's when we realised there was an opportunity for us. But what that goal gave us, and looking back, was 2 opportunities to win the game. Obviously, not doing it in the first one, but the first one, Simon has scored that goal. Now, this was all part of the big plan. We were there that day. It was a sunny day. I know you all had your parties, but there was only 15,000 Celtic supporters at East End Park. So we said, we need to take this back to Celtic Park and get 50 pips.
That's a good one.
Well, you can hear the laughing in the voice.
My nails that week. Yeah, my nails that week were bitten right down. We didn't get tickets for the game then. We had to watch it back here in Belfast, and one of the clubs here must have been 2,000 people paid into it, and the heart sank when Falconbridge scored in the 83rd minute, and everybody was ready for the party. The champagne all was bought, and we were out for the day that Sunday, and it wasn't to be. But the end of the next week,
it wasn't a great game, and although Simon had scored the goal in the first half, and we thought that would have been enough. The pitch was absolutely horrendous to try and play football on, but I think when you look, there's a comic picture of Wim Jansen just before the goal, the free kick, and telling everybody to squeeze out. And I think sometimes you are caught up and don't realise how far back you are. I was thinking we were as far back as that, but when you look and you see not the between the penalty spot and the 6 yard line, far too deep to where the ball was. So obviously, again as well, though there was not a challenge on Falcon Pouch, but in doing that, even going that far back, if there was a challenge, it maybe put them off, and there wasn't enough of a challenge on Falcon Pouch, and that was the reason why they looked at them. But fittingly, it worked out quite well, but I think there was a few disappointed supporters at the end of that one in particular. There's quite a few, obviously. But my goodness, you're waiting 10 years to try and win a trophy. You could have waited just a week more just to get it at Paradise or Celtic.
Yeah, and it was the pressure again, walking into there, being at home. And people don't realise how good St Johnstone were at a team at that time. They were battlers.
I think had they won the game, they could have been in Europe, and they were going for European football had they won the game. So, there were no mugs coming to Celtic Park, but I think when we let ourselves down the previous week at Dunfermline, but you can understand in a trumpet patch and not a great game, blah blah blah, and they scored a feet goal, but almost a feet goal, and but coming, to win the championship for the first time in 10 years, a home game against them is what you would want. And obviously playing at Celtic Park in front. I think that temporary stand had been removed, so there was only the one stand, the Jockstein stand that there is now, was to be completed. So there was about 50,000 Celtic supporters in there, so it was a great way, but and a great start as we went. But the pressure was on, but we just tried to just have the week as well as be a normal week and try and prepare. I know it's easy saying that now and the difficulties of getting a ticket here, getting your family, your friends, and all that kind of thing, and how you're going to be you better do it and all that. There's huge intense pressure, but the best place to be is actually in the park where you can have an influence. The support in the crowd can also have that, and we've seen that in so many games. But in certain moments, we could tell it wasn't going quite well because obviously we were winning 1-0, and I think everybody was remembering the previous week when Falkenberg scored that goal, and especially when George Boyle put that one over the bar from 3 hours just before half time. Yeah. We should be out of sight in the game, but there's still those moments, and that's why everybody talks about 1-0 games. We need another goal. We need another goal.
Well, somebody has asked a question about another goal, Johnny McCauley over in Paisley, and he says Tom was instrumental in the second goal against St Johnstone, and he's asking what were your feelings personally as that goal went in, a Celtic captain and someone who provided the goal.
Well, I can talk you through that goal as in the build-up. Obviously, late on, down in the corner, I picked up about the 18-yard line. The boy Nicky Jenkinson had fallen, so as I'm running, I'm waiting in wee Jackie getting beyond. I think the defender was a guy called Alan Preston. But coming to my left-hand side and trying to close me down was the Greek boys to Kelly Oglu. And I think all the supporters could certainly see him as he's running directly towards me. But I'm just waiting at that right moment, and I think the supporters would say, let's just say, encouraging me to pass the ball a lot quicker than what I was intended to do it. But I managed to work out, and obviously mad pass over the top to Jackie, and Jackie playing a sweet pass into Harold, and obviously the much maligned Harold Bradford putting the ball on the left net. Yeah, that was game over. That was part of the time. That's when you could have stopped the whistle. There was no way we were going to lose the We were a team that didn't concede too many goals in games. And I think it's certainly in that game, the only one chance that we really gave up to St Johnstone was that ball for just before half time. But the rest of the game, I think we were cruising it defensively. So there was not going to be any chance, any way come back from Johnstone, especially being at Celtic Park. So from that moment then on, it was party time.
Oh, it was unreal because at the start of the season,
waiting on Kenny Clark blowing.
Yeah, and it was unreal because you would say and go through the season and thinking of the way it started off and the end off with that. With you being captain and it's become one of the most iconic Celtic teams. When you mention the Lisbon Lions, you mention the treble winners, you know what I mean, stopping the 9 in a row team.
Yeah, no, listen, it was, as people talk about it, Tony, and it's saying it's one of the most important days of any Celtic supporters, obviously maybe only taking to the European Cup and level of importance, but that's not how we want it to be. Yes, it was great that it ended that way, but we'd have loved to have been able to stop it before then, as John Clark pointed out, I think, shortly after, and you know, the legend that he is, and you know, some people can just knock you down. You know, you're stopped at 10, and John comes on, I think he's John talking, and Paul Lambert, I think, talking, he says, well, why did you not stop at 8 and 9, you know? And all right, okay, it's just, you know, just that moment, that bit of banter that you have with ex-players and stuff, you know, and yeah, it was great, but yeah, it's so much relief that the pressure was on, the pressure was off, and obviously the joy feeling, and I think just losing it at the end of the game, just trying to run to my closest player, because I was up on the far side of the jack. His supporters were coming on the pitch, understandably. And I'm hugging him, that it was going by, it was in a hoop jersey or whatever, you know, just trying to get a hold of him. So, yeah, it was great feelings and great emotions, and a special day for us.
Oh, brilliant. Right, Deaglan, jump in.
Full time at that game, there was a shirt handed out on the back that said Cheerio 10 in a row. Just asking, do you still have that shirt, do you?
No, I gave that shirt away actually very quickly. I think to somebody that was in the crowd on that day, and I think one of the other T-shirts there was, and that's why I got this conditions recently, and it was about, you know, the end of the game, and when he presented with the cup at the trophy, it was, we went out and picked it up with the champions T-shirts on us, and it wasn't the hoops.
Yeah.
I just wish we'd have done it.
I know, we just had it done at the hoops.
And they're up picking the strips, or picking the trophies up with the strips, you know. But anyway, it didn't matter, it didn't make any difference that day. Just looking back on it, we should have done that, you know.
Yeah. When the season was done and dusted, champions, we had I think a friendly against Sport in Lisbon. Then all the stories started coming out that Janssen was walking. It must have been gutted, you know what I mean? We built ourselves up, we'd won a championship, and within, I think, 3 days Wim was gone.
I was very shocked. Was it not the next day, I think, or something after?
I think it was spoke about the next day. There was rumblings coming from up, but by day 3 it was officially confirmed that they'd walked.
Yeah, but obviously there was rumours that there was disharmony between them and I think especially Joe Brown and that. And so, but I remember going over to that game, and obviously our celebrations were curtailed because of that. And going over to that game, it was, I don't know if it was a bank holiday or just nobody turned up. There was about 150 people at the game to watch a benefit game for George Cadet. And you know, it was just before it, we were all meeting in the holiday, and that's when Vim told everybody that he was leaving. And some of the players were actually of the opinion, well, we shouldn't play this game, let's just go for it. But contractually, we couldn't do that, whatever. So yeah, it was still a shock when it came. I know there was rumours, but it was still a massive shock when you officially told it to us.
Yeah, that's even looking back, it's surreal to us, because we just got that new feeling that things are happening now. We're back, especially winning the championship. And then Vim's gone.
Yeah.
What did you make of
the? Yeah, it was a wee bit disappointing that having won a championship for the first time. We're making up for it now, I remember it, why, but certainly at the time the celebrations were, you know, a little bit muted and a little bit disappointing that, you know, the guy who came out to do that wasn't there to build on that team, to take us further on.
Yeah.
And so that was, you know, the turmoil. I'd been through it all from, you know, the early 90s where they changed manager after manager, you know, early part. And then, you know, this was again the case that we were going to have a new manager the following season with the players coming and going and all that usual thing. So it was a little bit, the only thing that was a little bit disappointing, but, you know, but We look back now with certainly the fondness
a good pride.
And what it was, yeah.
Tom, did you know that Jack Brown was probably interfering? Did you get the notion that he was probably interfering with Wim Jansen on the football pitch, or was it?
No, nothing at all. Didn't know the obviously the Paul Lambert one. I think was a major one a way back, and that probably when it started when he came. But no, absolutely no idea. And then it obviously just come out later on and stuff. So no, we mostly concentrating. There was too many other things going on that season to worry about things. Maybe because sometimes chief executives or boardroom fall out, but usually over valuations of players. But I think it went a little bit deeper with Spam and Jock, and obviously that culminated in them resigning. So it was a huge disappointment, but never had any real inclination that was the seriousness of it all.
Yeah, and then Dr. Joe comes in the next season. What did you make of Dr. Joe coming in?
Again, very similar to Vim, not knowing too much about him, not even a winner at the Czech Republic and the Euros, and that was it. First impressions, very quiet spoken man, an intelligent man, but I think it was too nice a guy, but the British sort of psyche and the British mentality of the game. But he did know a player as well, didn't he? He managed to bring us
that's right.
The most two-footed player that I've ever seen in Liverpool. Absolutely fantastic football player that he brought along, and maybe we were staying Liverpool who and all that. But yeah, Dr. Joe, I think his hands were tied a little bit, and there's a huge act to follow, obviously from the following season, and the turmoil that had been put in front of him.
Yeah, it's famous moment. Deaglan wants to ask you a question on it. The 5-1 at Ibrox. Go ahead, Dax.
5-1 at Celtic Park.
Yeah,
Lubo, I think he made his debut the week before that, and then he comes into the Derby game and he scores, and I think he looks around and I don't think he knows what he's just done.
Yeah.
I don't think he knew the magnitude of what he's just done and putting us 1-0 up.
Well, I totally agree with that, and I think what you can do, and you can see the reaction, but the two goals he scored, the second one, I don't know who put the triple something he said it. Oh, it might be me again.
Who put it through?
But his the reaction then, and obviously just coming in as not knowing what the club was about, and then his two goals he scored at Ibrox, and I think Mark O'Neill's games when they won the treble, and the elation and the joy in his face, absolutely stunning and magnificent transformation in terms of celebration. What a wonderful gifted football player that he was.
Yeah, and that game, that was just looking really big goals off Rangers. I don't think we had beat them by 4 or 5 in many years. What was that like, just giving them an absolute thumping? Yeah,
and I think the disappointing about that there, it was just thought we were going to take more off him in that game, in that particular game. I think he went down to 10 men early on with halfway through the first half, and Scott Wilson gets sent off for a tackle on Henrik. So, it could have been more. He'd arrived there to miss, I think, 3 sitters in the game, looking back on it. But it was just, I think, we weren't strong enough at the end of huge disappointment and how it sort of petered out in that championship run.
Yeah, they ended up with lost the league that season by 6 points. We did reach the Scottish Cup final. Fortunately, they beat us 1-0. And then we were taking in a guy called Mark Viduka.
Yeah, big Mark.
Yeah, he was. He looked at the ticket, but I got the feeling when he got to us and he played a few games, he started to look very disinterested. Maybe got his head turned by another club by saying sit tight. And he did.
You remember, it took a wee while to come in the club as well.
That's right. Yeah.
Citing stress about the move and stuff, So, it did take. But what a player was he on his day?
Yeah.
He had everything for a big boy, great touch, decent in the air, and maybe just the quickest all that. But certainly had a decent bit of pace. He was everything in his locker if he wanted it, but the only thing, maybe just that little bit of heart that other players had that played in that position that Matt had.
And then if you could have remembered, that Viduka and Larson never paired together much in games. Could you imagine if they had struck up a partnership? Jesus, that'd have been lethal, the two of them.
Yeah, things could have been so much different had they been able to form a partnership together, almost like the Hearts, the Sutton and Larson combination, or even Hartson and Larson. I think he could have been up there as a legend. Celtic had he stayed about a couple of times, but obviously the question is attitude in certain games. You know?
Yeah, that's money started calling in that English Premiership, and the lot got their heads turned. But the season ended, and the next season, you must have been just saying, here we go again. No harm to John Barnes coming up, but this was just a terrible experiment, wasn't it?
Started all very well. The first few games early on doing quite well, and then John decided that I wasn't going to be in the team, and I just thought he'd done it in a prudent way by, in terms of deciding that I wasn't going to be playing, he'd done it at a hotel reception rather than at a football venue, at the pitch, or even in his hotel room. And I thought, as me as captain, I think that was a nice way to be let known that you were going to be playing that day. But I missed a few through two back operations in that season. The only highlight, I think, was the League Cup victory when Kenny had been taken over as caretaker manager. Yeah. That was a highlight. But towards the turn of the year after that, we started to take a wee dip. Obviously, the Inverness game was very poor for us. But coming with high hopes of a dream team, and then it fell flat a little bit, you know. Yeah. The injury to Henrik as well was that season, I believe. And that was obviously another massive blow when Henrik was out for so long.
Yeah. Deaglan has a wee question on that front. Go for it.
Yeah. With John Barnes coming in, I think in the transfer window there were some questionable signings in Raphael Shade and Ian Reid. But
we all laugh at that, don't we?
That name, yes.
But to be fair to John Barnes, he brought in two good players who would be instrumental next season, and that would have been Stilian Petrov and Bobby Petta. How was Stilian when he first came in? Did he take away just to settle in at Celtic?
Stilian was a young boy. He could be just a shyish boy, but obviously coming from a foreign country to be able to try and understand the language and trying to understand the culture, and I think at times he felt a little bit lonely. Tried to keep him involved in certain things, but you could see eventually, not until later, as you say, when Matt and Neil came in, that he really started to flourish, and started to have a huge impact in the game for us. And obviously Bobby Pepper was another one, never had really set the foot down and fire until Martin Neal came in and Martin came in. I think it's a transformation in Bobby Pepper, and giving and installing him with a lot of confidence. So it was no surprise that certainly John Barnes was sacked after that Inverness game, but it was a huge surprise that somebody like the stature of Martin was to come to the club and what a transformation that was.
Yeah, but Doug Leash that seemed through the end of the season. Then all the talk was, you know what I mean, we need to revigor here, get this up and running again. And we managed to praise Martin O'Neill away from Leicester. And it was probably one of the first times mass crowds had gathered outside Celtic Park to welcome a manager. Yeah. And Martin's words on the steps that day, I will do my utmost to bring some success to this football club. Yeah. That still makes the hair stand and on the back of my neck and my arms. He was brilliant, and he said all the right words, and he was a good football management man.
Yeah, well, when Martin first came in, I remember my first meeting I was in the treatment table, obviously, coming for my second back operation. And he came in and he asked, what do we need for next season? How much do we need? And I says, well, I don't think we need too much, but again, that depending on what, I don't know what Martin could be able to bring in terms of players and in terms of the value of some of the players we got, 6 million for Sutton. Who else come in? Neil Lennon come in, Alan Thompson come in, Joost Volhan come in, so that massive amount of money that I didn't think would have been afforded to Celtic that Martin got. But what quality he brought in. And to be able to see some players like Sutton, he wasn't doing too well at Chelsea.
That's right.
And come back and just to give him that bit of confidence, the same with Alan Thompson, who was in and out of his picture at was Aston Villa, come in as well, and what a player he became for the club, an absolute legend at Celtic. So, listen, we know what Martin says and how Martin speaks and comes across. As a very intelligent man, a very thoughtful man, a very determined man, and certainly somebody who you don't generally win an argument with when you're having a wee. You can't call it a debate when you're certainly going to lose out.
Yeah, you learned that from Clough. Yeah.
He would be the master at it in terms of his ability as a man manager, and I think Clough was certainly one of those, and what he could get out of the players and make them able to relax. But when the demands came to the games, he certainly wanted a very high standard, and I think that's certainly what Martin bought from most of his players that performed under him.
Yeah. Declan's got another question on the treble winning season.
Yeah. The signings we made that season with Sutton, Lenny, Valharen, Tomo, but one that was missed out there, I think, was very instrumental. Possibly the final piece of the puzzle was Didier Gat for 50 grand off
30 grand. 30 grand, yeah.
Yeah, Didier. Didier was he was like a gazelle. He was the fastest. He was the fastest time after me and the team.
Very good, very good.
Honestly, he was lightning, an absolute worker. I converted fullback. A converted fullback because I think we were first bought him as a striker. I believe he was signed as a striker. Then I think he went to right wing back. Occasionally played as fullback. I think wing back was his role where he really started, and his ability, his pace to go up and down the lines. And his pace got him into positions where he could tackle. So he came in and certainly enhanced the team and performed ever so well for us. And as you say, not just the £6 million players that we played for Sutton and Evans and guys like this, but he could spot somebody for 50,000 and convert him and play him into the player that he became.
Excellent.
Yeah, and just the 27th of August 2000 will lay down our marker under Martin with the game against Rangers. How big, well, the victory was big in itself, but how big was it to beat them 6-2? And how was your view of Larsson's chip over Kloss that day?
That was special. I remember I started on the bench that day because and when I come on, I was doing a warm up behind the goals. And just as you do, think I'm just in a wee couple of stretches. But I was doing more exercise, jumping up and down with cheering with the support over there because we were 3-0 up with in about 10 minutes or so. And unbelievable start, best ever start we've ever had at that sort of derby game. So I was coming, obviously, for me, one of the best goal I think I've seen in a game, in a derby game. We've seen a lot of long range shots and beautiful moves, but the skill that they showed, the composure they showed, and then and the culmination of the chip over the top of the cross, so beautiful. But that was a mark I put down. I think certainly the players have. Well, we did lose the next game 5-1 at Highgate, but we'd given ourselves a huge boost and a huge relief, and we didn't lose another one, I think, until towards the end of the season.
Last two games of the season, the league and all was done and dusted, where we had the eye in the Scottish Cup final that time.
That's right.
Yeah. and to be a captain in a treble-winning season, there's only yourself and Billy McNeil that achieved that up until then.
Yeah.
It must have been so proud for you and your family.
Oh, it's a special feeling, a special year. And somebody as well asked me, but the more important thing that I want to be remembered for was obviously the start of the 10. That was superb, and that was great, and to have that not happen in the club's history for Scotland. But I think the more important, that was significant, and Martin from then helped changing my philosophy. But the important one, and the more important one, no, that wasn't important. The more important one was certainly the '98 victory, the league victory, and Scotland Rangers for winning the 10. So I think that was hugely significant. That was great. Terrible, unbelievable, fantastic season. The whole season, it just, euphoria right and went through it, and didn't end. And 3 years after we won that Scottish Cup. So, but I think the more important was the Wigan Murray back to the '98 championship victory.
Yeah, it definitely. Even back then, I remember it gave birth to a new, invigorated Celtic support. Everybody just wanted to be a Celtic supporter on the back of that treble. You can see it here, even in Belfast. A lot of people were starting to support, the usual Premiership shake, and they were all starting to come back. They're all buying their Celtic shirts again, and with Martin O'Neill at the helm, great team. They were just great times, and it just reinvigorated the whole support.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I totally agree with that. It was unbelievable for everybody, even for the players, I think. But what quality came into the football club, it was very, very special.
Yeah, I was really happy. And the next season, we went on to amass 103 points. We'd done one defeat the whole season. And we amassed 103 points. Another league winners medal for yourself to add to the collection. Oh, are you still there, Tom?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I just moved down the stairs. I'm just coming back.
Sound enough. I was saying we went into the following season, 01-02. We'd only lost the one game that season and amassed 103 points. And it was another league winners medal in your back pocket that season.
Yeah. I was more a bit part player in that season, and
I know you only done.
Taking over as the team captain. I was the club captain at the time. But yeah, another fantastic season. And I remember we back at the start of it, and we were playing over at pre-season games over in Austria, I think it was, and I think we lost 6-2 or 6-1 or something like that to a German team.
That's right.
And that Neil coming in and going absolutely ape shit about us in terms of the level of performance. And I said, you've got to you've got a league to defend. And I remember that, thinking, well, it's a pre-season game just to try and get you ticking over and trying to keep, just working things. But no, he still wanted to win, and that shows you the mentality of what the manager was like.
Yeah. And I don't want to dwell too much over the following season of 2002-2003. It was your final season at Celtic before your retirement in June 2003. But that season, we were running for every cup we'd played in right up until April, and it must have been gut-wrenching like that to see the season out trophyless. But
I think I felt I didn't play too hard. Last season probably stayed on a season too long, and it was my last season. I had a couple of League Cup games, but I think you felt for everybody in terms of the quality that was there within Celtic, and to get to the Europa League Cup final as well. We should have got something from that season, but weren't to be denied by, when you think about it, one goal. And then obviously the disappointment was involved. But there was a huge lot of knocks in that season, which we're very happy to take.
Tommy, I wouldn't change that season for the world as a supporter, and I think there's a lot of people say the same thing. We've debated that season over and over again. I think everybody put their heart and soul into it, and I think we walked out at the end of that season, maybe trophyless, but I tell you what, we stood like giants at the end of it.
It's an interesting one, and I know the feeling of so many wonderful journeys along the way, and getting so near, but as a football club and as a club that have been geared to success, the success was obviously the amount of support that turned up in Seville. And that's the abiding memory of that season. Next season, week at one point, the abiding memory. There's so many Celtic supporters who know what Seville and having such a wonderful time. Just wish we could have been so different and just getting that cup, but sort of the victory against Porto, but that wasn't to be.
Yeah,
and as a player and as a football man and somebody who wanted to be geared on success, that I think we can say probably the players don't remember it as fondly as the support would have done for obvious reasons.
Yeah, for the medals at the end of it. Right, I have a couple of, before we let you go, I have a few questions from some supporters here have come in. Kevin McCulloch asked Tom what is his funniest memory at Celtic without getting anybody in trouble. I'm sure it's loads of them, because you can go right back until 1982.
Well, I can have a laugh at myself. I suppose when I was playing back to Motherwell for the first time, and you know how you get back and get a few minutes to some of the crowd, and being stadium a lot far out, and so obviously when you get back, you're buzzing press and you want to have a good performance. And I come up trying to look his own really cool, pull the ball up the line. Another one, you plant a foot, and then you go to play the ball, but your foot just touches touches the ball away. And then you go like that and you kick fresh earshot, and I'm going, oh my God, I'm going back here as a captain that won a cup for them, and I'm going to fall flat on my back, off my face. So that was, I think, a comical moment at my expense, and I think I certainly got that from plenty of the opposition supporters. Right. But there's also been other ones. One probably you can laugh at my expense was a game. It was the derby game when I think it was 1-1 each at Celtic Park, when Kenny Clark, I think, again was a referee, and the wall at the Oxteen end was only, I think, about 6 yards or 7 yards. So I've run through the halfway line and got to where the ball was, and then proceeded to do the Basil Fawlty, that big walk that he does in his own career.
The goose step.
Proceeded to do this to measure out the 10 yards. And then, as I hightailed it back, I turned and hightailed it back to the halfway line, because I was again.
I remember this now,
And then I just turned around and I seen the referee. I'm back here, Mr. Boyd. We gave me a yellow card. I remember that.
Kenny.
There's so many others, like obviously I can't remember too many, but certainly there's plenty.
Well, you just mentioned that. John Fowle says, don't mention referees, tell him. So
it was probably the only decision the referee got right.
There's just a few other wee questions here. And somebody was asking, what was your most favourite home shirt that you played in?
Good one. Obviously, I would have to say my very first one when I got my debut.
Yeah.
Against Airdrie. So that's a very nice one for me.
Wouldn't that be
and obviously as well, the ones that you like are the ones that you're successful in, the level one in here, the start and the end. But for me, obviously, the first time I pulled on the hoops way back, the 1992. So that would be good.
Yeah, that would have been the Ford People's shirt back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah, have it here in the garage.
So I don't remember, you're not remember it fondly, obviously, because it didn't do well in the successful period, but just a very special moment for me.
Good memories of it. Then the next question, what was your favourite away shirt? Oh, Jesus, now you have some disasters to pick from here as well.
Oh, some belters.
Yeah.
There was a couple of good ones, I think I liked. The one was a black with the pinstripe.
That's what Deaglan's trying to get his hands on now at the minute. I only have it in large here, in the garage.
Yeah, I like that one.
That was a belter.
The waist strap and the elbow skis and the yellow and the green.
Yep.
But I think again, you look at that one, obviously was successful in that one, and I think you do have a fondness for Stuts when you're successful. But I would certainly there were some belters from that I was, but I remember he'd say that people done away back in 12 and he was a zigzag at the front.
Yeah, Deaglan wears this now. He's got my old shirt and he wears it now. He thinks it's a belter. And believe it or not,
well, it's probably committee fashion now, right? That's
yeah. Tom, that is going for serious money online. So, you know what I mean? Any Celtic supporters there's got it. I think the last one I seen, it went for 180 quid. And just, not poor condition, but just alright condition. So, goes to show these shirts are worth a fortune nowadays.
Yeah.
Right. Also, somebody was asking about your testimonial game, and they were saying probably not the result, but he says it's the best testimonial match ticket he has ever seen was your one. They put a bit of effort into it, like I have to say.
Well, the only thing was that obviously I had no say on it, and that's probably why it was a good one, you know.
All right. I've two more here before I let you go. Now, did you know this wee stat? And I only worked this stat out yesterday. Between our inception as a football club in 1888 until we got to 1991, that would have been 103 years. We had 7 managers. Well, 8. Well, gone up to 7 managers, right? In 103 years. We went another 7 managers under you in 10 years. What about that for a stat?
Well, I didn't realise that in terms of the first stat, but I certainly knew that I worked under 7 managers, and I think that may have been a record.
It has to be.
There's the most managers at Celtic.
You must have it easy.
Yeah. But it's not something you would say was a great thing to claim, because obviously there was a lot of turmoil at the time, a lot of failure, and so it's an interesting one.
Yeah.
You know, that and some that are one that I used, and I can talk about managers, but I'll have that for another day.
And you've done that all just over 10 years. Finally, last question that people were asking: who was your best friend at Celtic? And all your time there. And there's just
I would to say I got on with everybody as my time as a captain, and but the guy who I played in most times was Tosh McKinley. We used to share the cab together. So with the Tosh, he was one of the sweetest left footers that you'll ever see. Great shots with the ball.
Great fella, absolute great fella. I remember meeting him once. Tosh is an absolute gentleman.
Great man.
Douglas, one more wee question about if you can fit it in here.
It's not really just a question, Tom. It's more as a thank you, because from the 98 games stopping 10 in a row, we've just went pillar to pillar winning all these trophies. I think we've won 15 of the last 20 titles, and probably without that title win we wouldn't be in the position we are to go on and win 10 in a row. So just thank you for that there, and hopefully next year we just go on and eclipse this and make history.
Listen, it's great time to be a Celtic supporter just now with the success that we're having. It was a great time then, although intermittently, obviously stopped my pen and then went to treble, but what a football club about. It's just a very special time, great to be part of a wonderful football club.
Oh, brilliant. The two of us wore our 1998 shirts here in respect for you coming on this evening, Tom, because we think so much of you. You're captain, leader, a legend for the club. You control that Celtic TV brilliantly. And I will not go into why you control it brilliantly. You know why, but we have so much respect for you, and you've been absolutely brilliant. And by the way, can you get us Henrik for next week?
Oh, aye, what time?
The same time again.
Brilliant, that's fun. Listen, I can't even get Henrik on the phone. I texted him a few times, and I'll take it probably 6 weeks per year or something like that.
He's a busy man still, isn't he?
You're a busy man.
Yeah, but I know you're a busy man too, Tom, and it's been absolutely brilliant to host you on here this evening. Everybody's just ecstatic to hear your story about your days in the hoops. As I say, we have so much love and respect for you. You're one of our legends, and God bless you, Tom. You're just outstanding.
Well,
Proud to have you.
all I'm just one of those who got lucky and managed to come in years, like quite a few before us, but it's something that I was brought up in production and certainly appreciate every moment. Even now, I'm like a big kid again as a supporter of the games, whether I be doing this on TV or in the TV. But just glad to be a part of a wonderful football club and part of the history of this great club.
Brilliant, brilliant. And when this social distance all sorts itself out, I owe you a big hug for doing this, and I'll be gladly giving it to you.
No
Thank
problem.
you so much,
No
Tom.
problem at all.
You're an absolute gentleman. Thank you for joining us this
Thank you,
evening.
Tom.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hail, hail, and everybody listening, hail, hail.
there you go, folks. Big hail from Tom, rounding off our interview with him. Once again, thanks very much, Tom. God bless you.